Hey everybody. The bacteria that I am researching is called Trypanosoma cruzi, commonly known as T. cruzi. It's a protozoa that causes Chagas disease in humans. It can cause other disease in animals such as horses and cattle, but I'm going to be focusing on the disease it causes in infected humans. Um, uh, T. cruzi is caused by insect vectors, vectors being an organism that transmits disease from one animal to another, such as ticks. Symptoms for Chagas disease, well, there's an acute phase and a chronic phase of the disease. In the acute phase, symptoms are common to other diseases, so it can be hard to pin down this disease. So the symptoms include things like fever and fatigue, headaches, vomiting, diarrhea, even rashes. In the chronic phase, many people don't even show any symptoms. The people that do, though, can have really more intense symptoms such as both cardiac or gastrointestinal complications or enlargement of certain organs such as the esophagus or the spleen, and it can be fatal. I originally picked this disease or this microbe because I wanted to work on a more unconventional microorganism that wasn't, as common as some of the bacteria or diseases that other people might be researching or that are known about. Um, I think T. cruzi is interesting for what it's worth because of like the way it's transmitted, the odd effects it can have on the infected humans, the way that it interacts with the human immune system and how it gets into our blood and what it does, things like that. Um, Not as much is known about this disease as some of the more common ones that there's been a lot of research and that we've studied perhaps in our textbook. So I think it might be interesting for me, especially, and for you guys when I present it, to learn more about it and research it. The article that I'm using for my research, and stick with me here, is called The Biological Characterization of Trypanosoma cruzi epimastigotes derived from trypomastigotes isolated from Brazilian Chigasic patients. There's about 8 authors here, so stick with me again. Isabella Nakamura, Danilo Miguel, Andressa Bruscato, Marianne Pereira, Dimas Campiolo, Eros Antonio del Almeida, Eduardo Peloso, and Fernanda Ramos Gadelha. Again, this is a Brazilian article, and no month is given for when it was written, but it was written pretty recently in 2022. I originally picked this article because by skimming it, I thought it would give a more introspective look into the characteristics of the bacteria and how its adaptability and survival rate relates to Chagas disease, the disease that it causes, and what that can do to humans. The article also discusses interesting things like the bacteria's heterogeneity and biochemical parameters of T. cruzi epimastigotes, and functions in specific parts of the bacteria's life cycle. Um, I might find a different or an additional article, however, to sort of broaden my research because now that I've taken a closer look into reading this article, it's very dense and it does seem to go more into the specifics of how isolates of the bacteria's epimastigotes are affected by different enzymes. And I really want to learn more about how the disease itself functions and how the bacteria relates to that disease. And while I think my article that I picked does go into that, I think it would be better for my project that I find some additional research that really talks about the disease itself and what it does to people so that I can present it better. But I am excited to learn more about this. I think it's going to be an interesting topic, and I hope I can, show you some interesting facts and you'll like it. So stay tuned. Thanks.